Blog Talk Radio.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, Executive Producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all.
Grand Rising, and thank you for joining us this morning on the Female Solution Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. Welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness, to start your week off with the Mindfulness Stress Relief Session. How was your weekend? Was it long enough for you? Well, chances are it probably wasn't. And that's okay, too, because we are going to start this week off on a note that will keep you inspired and give you the tools that you need to help you throughout the week. So it does not matter if it was a short weekend or otherwise. Today's topic is the death penalty. And our special guest is Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque from Community Cultivations, and it is a subject that is near and dear to the community locally as well as globally, because there is a general consensus that the decision to bring back the death penalty is not one of the general consensus of the people of the United States. So we're going to hear your thoughts this morning, and if you're listening online, we welcome your comments and your suggestions. You can tune in to our Facebook page, The Female Solution, as well as other social media, and you can tune in to my social media page, ZeldaSpeaks, as well as Twitter and Instagram and all the other social media. If you're listening online, welcome. If this is your first time, welcome. We do understand that we have a new audience some new listeners, first-time listeners. Congratulations and welcome to the Female Solution. We always like to include trivia prizes for our listeners. If you can name the topic of the day, in which we always give it out, so hope you can remember that, you can win the 21-day stress relief home practice journal. It's the Mindfulness Stress Relief 21-day home practice journal, or the Innovative Mindfulness Breakthrough System audio program. Keep in mind that we are always looking for health ambassadors. If you know someone who has diabetes and would like to help cleanse their body of this dis-ease and make diabetes a part of your life by helping not only yourself but helping others, feel free to go to diabeticdonut.com. There's lots of information there waiting for you. I had the awesome challenge of reversing diabetes, type 2 diabetes from my body, and I've learned to take herbs and basically a plant-based diet. And there are some particular things that you will need in order to start this regimen, and that will help you. Simply go to diabeticdonut.com. If you have questions, go to my website, ZeldaSpeaks.com. And which we're always looking for people who like to shop. It's a habit here we have in America and probably all over the world, and that is how to make money on Amazon. If you are a for-profit business or a non-profit business or just an individual, this is something that will help you or your organization earn money. So you simply go to ZeldaSpeaks.com. That's ZELDA Speaks, SPEAKS.com. ZeldaSpeaks.com and click on training. And remember to set those DVRs for Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1 on Channel 19 to see the Higher Learning Network TV show in which I produce for the Higher Learning Network. And if you are online, you can always go to the website higherlearningnetwork.org, in which you will see this week. It's also on my Facebook page right now. The felony charges that were filed against 2019 mayoral candidate Dr. Willie Wilson, who we will have coming on as a guest on the show to talk to you about that. So if you've got questions, feel free to call in at 515-605-9325, and remember to press 1 to speak. He's not on the show today, but he will be. But that's just the number for you to call, and I know I sometimes talk too fast, so I'll say it again, 515-605-9325, and you must press 1 to speak. That's the only way that we can open up your mic and allow you to speak. So we thank you for joining us this morning. Congratulations to Chicago's own LaDonna Tittle, your Tittle in the Middle. She received the Gene Siskel Film Center Legacy Award this past Saturday at the Black Harvest Film Fest, which runs through the 30th of this month. And why is that important in Chicago? Because there are many Chicago filmmakers who tell the stories of the people who live in Chicago, because we are depicted as one of the worst crimeful cities, where every day we wake up to the news and 20, 30, 40 people have been killed over the weekend. And a lot of that is not real. We are looking at fake news, people. You have to keep in mind that traditional commercial media has an agenda, and it is not at your best interest. Now, true enough, people are being killed every single day. but it's not what you think it is. And with those movies that we saw at the Chicago Film Festival, it shows a lighter side of Chicago. The powers that be that control the media want us to live in fear. They do not want us to live in love. We live in a state of constant fear when we continuously listen to resources outside of ourselves. Well, someone may say, well, you don't live in my neighborhood. I hear bullets flying past all the time. Well, you may hear that and you may experience that, but not everyone gets shot all day, every day. So just do keep that in mind, that the media that controls what you see on television controls your mind. So and that doesn't mean if you don't hear about it, it doesn't happen. It's just not happening in the numbers in the way that you think it is, because they're programming us, and that's what television and media is all about. It's about programming. And, of course, I write about that and I talk about that. And this show, The Female Solution, is part of that programming. It's an alternative to the negativity that we experience every day in regular media. So let us continue with positive programming this morning as I read to you from Inspirational Conversations, 365 Days of Empowerment, with Shalom Israel, a.k.a. ZeldaSpeaks. And I don't always read from the book on the day of, like today is the 13th. Today I'll be reading from August 2nd. And it says, I know it's hot outside. I feel the heat as much as you do, but do we have to show it all? Can we please leave something to the imagination? We know your booty is juicy. We see it when it jiggles. In the words of a famous comedian, we see your breastises. Because your blouse is so low, we couldn't ignore it if we wanted to. And the men, boys, we really don't want to see your hips, your behind. We see your puffed up lips, Victoria's Secret hips, and your wannabe ways, but what we don't see is the real you. You probably don't think the real you is worthy because you've been comparing yourself to something or someone outside of yourself. In case Mother didn't tell you then, I'm telling you now, so you no longer have to look outside yourself. You are perfect, whole, and complete, just as you are. It never hurts to enhance your natural beauty. But remember, no two beauties are alike. Why be a cookie-cutter cutie? In other words, a speaker, poet, author, sporty king, don't you know just how fine you are? Inspirational Conversations with Shalom Israel. I hope you enjoy that because it's imperative that you know who you are, whom you come from, which is the Creator. And the Creator does not make mistakes. We listen to the foolishness that is out here in the programmed media and social media, and we compare ourselves to it, and guess what? We will never look like the magazines that you see that are airbrushed. We will never be the size that they say we should be. I'm a big bone girl, loving my big bone hips, thighs, ears, arms, loving all of that. And it has taken me all of my life to appreciate that because I've always compared myself to others. When you know whom you are and whose you are, it's okay, just like you are. As a matter of fact, it's better than okay. You are the most beautiful creature on the planet. Yes, you are. And why is it you? Because God made you in His likeness, and you have to know that. So you say there are many likenesses. Well, yes, there are, because God comes in many shapes, forms, and fashion, and it is evidenced in the way in which we honor the Creator. There are different religions all over the world, and you have the choice to be associated with that which you so desire. And that's just the way it is, and we give thanks for that. And let us give thanks now for the opportunity to go within. We'll take a quick 5-minute session and begin doing some breathing this morning to help us remember who we are. I recently filmed a wedding of a young woman who, from another city, came to Chicago and got married, and she was so beautiful. And as I was editing the video, I got a call from her designer who told me that she does not want the video made public because she didn't think that she was beautiful enough on her wedding day. And I was so saddened by that because she was gorgeous. And I'm thinking to myself, if she, as beautiful as she is, if she thinks that about herself, we're all in trouble. So to circumvent that, let us begin the meditation process by closing our eyes, sitting up straight, back erect, feet flat on the floor, nothing in our hands, nothing on our lap, simply closing our eyes and begin the process of taking long, deep breaths. We're going to inhale to the count of 6, hold it, and blow out. If you can breathe through your nose, please do so. If you can't, it's okay. And if you're lying down, if you can, sit up, because the meditation is so relaxing you may fall asleep. And that's okay, too. But we just ask you to sit up straight, close your eyes, because the only thing that you should be looking at is the inside of your eyelids. So let us begin. Inhale deeply to the count of 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Counting to yourself, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now continue counting to yourself and simply listening to my voice. As you continue to breathe in and breathe out, know that you are at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. And you do this breathing exercise because you care for yourself. This is part of your self-love. And when you love yourself, you do the things to prepare yourself for the day. Because as Dr. Maya Angelou says, before we face the day, face God. That is, face the Creator that has given you life today, because someone somewhere cannot be here with us. Someone somewhere is laying flat on their back and needs help with a breathing machine. And you have been given the breath of life. So let us inhale deeply to the count of 6. Hold it and exhale. And continue counting to yourself. And as you inhale, send light and love and energy to the top of your head as we open up the chakras, knowing that the energy at the top of the head is flowing smoothly down throughout the body, beginning with the forehead, circling down to the eyebrows, the eye sockets, the nose, the cheeks, the lips, the jawbone. Inhale deeply. Giving thanks for the energy that is circulating and percolating and vibrating throughout the entire head, moving to the neck and the shoulders, the arms, and the elbows. Energy the fingernails, we continue to breathe, inhale deeply and counting to yourself, give thanks for the energy that continues to flow throughout the solar plexus, the chest, the stomach, the sides, the hips, the thighs. Inhale deeply, giving thanks that each breath that you breathe in gives energy and direction to continue the breath throughout the body, through the thighs, the buttocks, the knees, the legs, the ankles. As you breathe deeply, sending that vibrating energy throughout the feet, the toes, the arches, the ankles, the bottom of the feet. Inhaling deeply to the count of 6. Hold it and exhale. And as we take the energy from the bottom of the feet back to the top of the head, we continue breathing, giving thanks for each and every organ, beginning with the heart, the liver, and the lungs. And we love them and we give thanks that they are working so diligently on our behalf. The stomach, the pancreas, the colon, the spine, the spleen, each and every organ, we give thanks that works without our even thinking about it. We give thanks for each and every ligament, limb, tendon, muscle, cell, fiber, all of the energy that keeps us intact. As we take a long, deep breath, inhale deeply, hold it, and blowing it out, release, let go, and let God. As we inhale deeply for the last time, we give thanks for the breath of life, knowing that someone somewhere cannot breathe on their own, and we are so grateful to be breathing on our own. And if we exhale, we release, let go, and let God. And in this breath, we say thank you. And in this breath, we say thank you. One more long, deep breath. Inhale. Hold it. And as you exhale, I release. I let go. And I let God. Because that which you are being concerned about today is not your concern. Your only concern today is to breathe and allow the breath of God to move, think, and have its being in, through, and around you. Knowing you are always at the right place, at the right time, no matter what, and give thanks for the lesson. As we take our long last deep breath for this session, inhale deeply, hold it, and exhale. We bring our head forward, chin to chest, and begin to rotate the hip to the left. Slowly, slowly, slowly bringing it around to the back. Slowly, slow down, moving way too fast. Slowly bringing it around to the right. Slowly, just getting to the right. And slowly bringing your head around to the front, chin to chest, and reversing your head, bringing your head to the right, slowly, slowly, slowly to the back, slowly, slow down, to the left, slowly, and slowly bringing it around to the right, chin to chest, head straight up, looking to the left as far as you can, and looking to the right as far as you can. And take a long, deep breath. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale, repeat these words out loud. I am happy. I am healthy. I am whole and complete. Yes, I am. Repeat it. I am happy. I am healthy. I am whole and complete. Inhale deeply. And say the words out loud if you can. I am happy. I am healthy. I am whole and complete. You have just programmed your body for the day. You have just given your body, mind, and spirit the armor that it needs to protect itself, because the enemy awaits you. The enemy comes in the form of people, places, and situations and circumstances that are designed to throw you off the mark, to disturb your peace. But because you have armed yourself this morning with the breath and with the word, because words have wings, do they not? You've armed yourself and you are prepared, and you can do whatever it is that God has kept you here on this day to do, because someone somewhere didn't wake up and you did. So try and practice that somewhere during the course of the day when you are attacked physically or mentally. Try that breathing exercise. And when you don't counteract, when you don't attack the person back that attacked you, and you start breathing on them, just start breathing. They will look at you as if you are crazy, but guess what? It works. People will walk away from you, especially if you have garlic or onion on your breath, or you didn't brush your teeth. Any of those, that will get them away. So thank you for joining us this morning on The Female Solution, How You're Learning with ZeldaSpeaks, your Monday morning mindfulness stress relief session. I hope you've enjoyed it. Be sure and go to my YouTube channel to see other little excerpts that you can try there and testimonials from other people who are experiencing and benefiting from the experience of mindfulness. If you'd like to join the conversation this morning, please call in at 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak. Our guest will be Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque of Community Cultivations, and we will be talking about the death penalty. And you can leave your comments on social media as well. But right now we'll take a commercial break, and we will be right back with your thoughts, comments, and suggestions on higher learning on the Female Solution. Thank you for listening.
Hi, this is John Alexander.
And I'm Latif. Meet people like you who are making a positive difference in the world. Watch us every day on The Media Connection at www.youtube.com/The Media Connection TV.
YouTube it. We'll see you soon.
There are people who choose to make a positive difference in the world. Our job is to bring you their stories to motivate you to do the same. Join us each week, host John Alexander and Naima Latif, as we bring you the educators, entertainers, elected officials, religious leaders, and community activists whose works are transforming this world. Find out how you can make a difference too. Be inspired. Watch The Media Connection. Mondays at 5 p.m. and Tuesdays at 12 noon on Cable TV, Channel 19 in Chicago. And other cities, check your local cable listings.
I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Community and police need to come together again. Police need to walk the streets, get to know the citizens. They can ride the buses, the L, the subways, and once again, become the officer friendly we always hear about. Police are the front line between us and the criminal element. As mayor, I will begin program to assure they will get to know us as our neighbors.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for mayor.
Hi, this is Maika, and I want you to join me every Thursday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And let's talk about it. There are so many interesting things to talk about, and we have many thought-provoking discussions. We have amazing guests on the show, and you'll find real transparency, a really peaceful environment, Also a healing environment as we do EFT and other healing modalities to bring ourselves into congruence and balance. It's also a child-friendly environment. And we have an open mic. All you have to do is press 1 to be heard and to say what you have to say. No fear, no fake, real truth. That's what you'll find on my show. Visit our archives at The Female Solution on Blog Talk Radio and listen to past discussions that are intriguing. Call 505-615-9325. Invite a friend and listen in, and I'll see you then on Blog Talk Radio. Let's talk about it.
Health is not just an absence of disease. Health means, the word health comes from the word whole. When an individual human being feels complete, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that's when health is. When the life within you is bouncing with vibrance, when the life within you is effervescent, that's when health happens. If we have to build this into a human being, this has to happen at the earliest time in his life. If healthful living, how a human being can live healthy, what he should consume, what should be the nature of his practice, and different aspects of how he should sleep, how he should wake up, all these things were built into our culture in the past. But in the last generation, we have distorted this heavily because of certain Western influences which are only about treating the disease, not about creating health from within. Nobody can give us health. Health is our responsibility. This has to be brought into our curriculum, that every child in this country should learn how to generate health for himself. Not wait for a healthcare system to help him later in his life, but he must become the main healthcare provider for himself, because health can only be organized from within. The earlier it is introduced, the better it is. It is important that we as a nation, all that we have is a large mass of people, these 1.25 billion people. If we have a healthful, focused and inspired population, we as a nation can become a miracle. If we have an unhealthy population, which will naturally be uninspired and not ready for action kind of population, we can become the greatest disaster. Right now, India is moving towards this disaster rapidly. It is time to turn it around by bringing healthful ways of living at the earliest point in one's life. So the school systems, the education system has to introduce as to how a human being can live healthy. This has to happen to this country because large-scale movement towards ill health is happening, and it is something that we can ill afford. It is not something that this nation can handle. The richest nations in the world, like United States of America, their health bills are sinking their economy. We need not move in that way. Right now, we have a youthful population, but not very healthy. It's time we bring health and manifestation of health into our school systems and make it work for us as a nation.
Monday morning mindfulness, starting your week off with a mindfulness stress relief session. Yes, we are responsible. There's a new generation here, and you are part of that generation. We're going to make it happen by any means necessary, because this is a meeting of the minds, and your mind is most important as that of the voices that you will hear this morning, including our first guest. I will open up his mic, Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque from Community Cultivations, and we're discussing the death penalty this morning. Grand Rising, Lionel. Thank you for joining us this morning. How are you, my brother?
Peace be upon you. I'm fine.
Lionel Abdul Haaque.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, peace be with you.
Yes, we hear you.
I wanted to wish you all well, and I'm glad to join you once again.
The death penalty, how did you come up with that? You are always such a man with insight, and I'd like for you to explain to our listening audience why this topic is important to us all.
Well, it's in the context of a statement by the Pope, who recently issued a statement saying that the Catholic Church is no longer supports the death penalty, specifically saying something to the effect that it does not reflect the dignity of the human being. And I think that's what makes that so important is the fact that the Catholic Church did establish the death penalty and did support the death penalty up until this point. And in fact, the whole concept of punishment as a major mainstay of the penal system of today is rooted in medieval jurisprudence handed down from the church, the Catholic Church that ruled the world at that time with an iron hand. And this is significant on a lot of different levels that the Pope has made this statement and departed from the tradition of punishment that the church established as a means of correcting human behavior. Are you with me?
And why is it? Yes, we're here. I was just thinking.
Well, I mean, the whole idea is that the church is based on the idea of original sin. That the sin of Adam put human beings out of the grace of God, and was condemned to hell on earth and thereafter until supposedly the sacrifice of Jesus redeemed those who accept that he died for their sins. Now, this is all be a little complicated to some people, but it's all connected. It's all very much connected. And it requires, I guess, some serious thought to follow, but it, The idea of original sin says that human beings were born in sin and shaped in iniquity, that there is no soul, that the human being had no soul, and that the only way you could be corrected was through punishment. The only way you can be deterred from evil, bad behavior was the fear, what they call the fear of God, had to be put into you. You had to recognize that you're going to suffer if you do wrong. And this is what the whole medieval practices of burning people at the stake and so forth was designed to do, was to instill fear as a deterrent to bad behavior, to disobedience, to questioning the church and the authority of the church, which the whole idea of celibacy and abstinence that the church advocates is the idea that we're getting away from the nature of man into a holy abstinence from fleshly human appetites. And so what the church, what the Pope
Lionel,
what the Pope did was very significant. This is the first time that the Pope has come out and made such a declaration. And when he said that it didn't speak, that the death penalty does not speak to the dignity of the human being, that's powerful, because he's saying that the human being has dignity, whereas the church is based on the idea that the human being does not have dignity, that he is fundamentally a heathen, having no soul, and that his redemption had to come through the blood of Jesus.
I'm here. Is that your? I hear a little bit in the background, Lionel. Is it on your end?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was watching the news as well.
Okay. Well, well, maybe we can just turn that down a little bit until you finish your thoughts. And I'd like to know what our listening audience thinks about that as well. But go ahead, finish your statement.
Well, there's more. The whole concept of the dignity of the human being is what evolved the separation of church and state. The rebellion against the church by Martin Luther and others was based upon the rise of the teachings of Islam that talks about the dignity of the human being in a totally different way than what the church does. And that people began to respond to that idea that the human being had dignity and had rights, human rights, that are expressed in the Constitution as life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, God-given rights. That was not the church's philosophy. That was not the church's position. That was the position that was established by the state that separated from the church, that made a distinction between the order of the church and the order of the state. This is history. This is history from a standpoint of the principles and the ideals that were shaping the world view and were challenging established ideas. and the effect of those challenging ideas on the overall political situation.
And politics usually has a lot to do with most of the decisions that are made on our behalf, because there is always some financial consideration to with pretty much everything that is done, not only in the United States but in the world as well. If our callers who are listening, or if you're on social media, feel free to post your comments or suggestions. If you'd like to call in, it's 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak so that we can open your mic. There are those who have mixed feelings about the death penalty. And we as a people, we have a voice in this. And my question to the listening audience is, why is it that we continue to allow others to be in control of the decisions that we make? And if we think that, if we agree with the Pope on the idea that on the death penalty, if you'd like to join the conversation, we'd love to hear your thoughts this morning. What are your personal thoughts on this subject, Lionel?
Well, I mean, my personal thoughts are, personal thoughts conform to what I consider to be right from study. And like I said, this doesn't just relate to the death penalty, but it relates to the whole concept of punishment and penal institutions. The idea that punishment is the way to correct human behavior is what the penal system is based on. You lock a person up in a cage like an animal, and he's subjected to cruel punishment, debilitating, dehumanizing conditions. They are deliberately dehumanizing conditions. They're not set up. There used to be a situation where the walls were gray and everything was steel and concrete. They didn't even have they didn't introduce the idea of using bright colors in prisons or penal institutions for paint until the 60s. So this is a concept of medieval barbarism that has evolved and maintained a grip on the consciousness of people to say that this is how we're going to keep you in order. This is how we keep our social order moving forward. If you violate our laws, we're going to make you pay. We're going to extract a pound of flesh in terms of pain on you that you may never recover from. You will never forget, and you will never want to go through that again. And this is not consistent with the idea that human beings are basically good and kind and considerate and want to do the right thing. That if you teach people right, they will do better. And that the miseducation of the Negro and everybody else in this country is by design. It's not by accident. That in order to exploit people, you have to miseducate them about who they are and how they can be better.
I totally agree with you, and I see we have some callers on the line who would like to voice their opinion as well. Area code 312-2773. You're live on the air on the Female Solution, Grand Rising. Thank you for joining us. What is your comment or suggestion? 312-2773. You're live on the air.
Yes. Well, and Shalom. This is Minister Plump, Robert Floyd Plump. Well, and Shalom. We don't die, we die. Like power forever, and assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for joining us.
Zelda Speaks, and also Brother.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yes, well, I feel blessed by the best. Just fresh out of the Bud Bulletin Parade. I agree with the Pope on that one. That's one thing, in terms of the death penalty being not a penalty that really resolves the character. That is something that is needed. Is to me is to get rid of the death penalty because it does not actually solve the problem of the person that may have committed the crime. We have a process of doing whatever it takes, in a wrong way to demonstrate. But the greatest way and the only real way is if Jesus forgive, for whatever person or human being that have done something wrong to even another human being, then I feel that that's a healing. Spiritually, it becomes a healing. So, each one teach one, and everyone must forgive just because of Jesus. And Jesus is still the truth, the way, and the light for us all to decide to do what is right. And I like what the brother Haaque made a previous statement on. If you treat people right, and then, it gives them the mindset to do it right or not at all. So therefore, more people will practice doing things right by, treating them right. And righteousness is like life, instead of death. Sin is always reflected as death, and forgiveness is always a reflection of life. And that's my comment. I like Brother John Alexander and Sister Queen Empress Naima Latifah. Make sure we get some more on-air magazines out here as fast as they can so we can pass the buck, as they say, from, as Dr. Webb Evans would say, and he is the godfather of the month here, which is, pass your bucks just as fast as you can from one black man hand to the next. And that gives us some more education, some more opportunity to promote freedom, justice, equality, and economics. So thank you very much for you all giving us an opportunity to say something on this matter. And I hope that, people will learn better, know better, and do better, and practice doing the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate your comment.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you. If you just joined in, you're listening to Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque on the Female Solution, Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks. We've got a commercial break coming up in about 3 minutes, but we're going to open up the phone line. 312-3456. You are live on the air on the Female Solution. Thank you for joining us this morning. I do believe that is our executive producer. Dr. Naima Latif.
Yes. Greetings.
Thanks for joining us this morning. And welcome back.
Yes.
Welcome back to the U.S. Welcome back to Chicago. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Well, it's great to be back, and I'm glad your guest, our dear brother Lionel Abdul Haaque, is talking about the history of this philosophy that we've been following for way too long. Just coming from London, England, I've seen a lot of the culture there and how it's based in a lot of that old medieval thinking, and had a chance to visit some of the historic sites. And we really need to make a conscious decision to let that philosophy go, because it is based on the distorted teachings of Jesus and the wrong belief that people are born in sin and need blood and a blood sacrifice to reconcile them to God. I love my Christian brothers and sisters, but we can't grow until we let that go, because we are born divine with a divine nature, steered toward good. We learn to mistreat others because of our environment. And I had a chance to spend 2 weeks in the community. I was there with an international Muslim convention, and the point that he made that was when human philosophy began to change, was when it was introduced the idea that you are not born in sin. God is not angry with you. You're not naturally evil. You don't need the devil beat out of you. You don't need anybody to die or bleed to death or be tortured in order for God to love you. We have to let that thought go, because that's shaping how we're raising our children, and that's why we've been so cruel to our children. And that's why this show is so important. We've got to undo the damage from that philosophy.
Well, I'd like to
well, we thank you
also
for calling in and sharing that, because go.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lionel.
Thank you, Sister. Yeah, Sister Naima, thank you very much. I wish I had known about that conference. I would like to know more about that. But this thing about punishment, even in the context of recidivism, the rate of recidivism, I mean, the system is not working. I mean, people are not being made better by the penal system that we have. Whether you privatize it or not, it's just business. It's making money. People are being willfully and deliberately dehumanized in the name of criminal correction, when it's not doing that. And we need to change this whole concept of rehabilitation, correcting criminal behavior from the top down. And Community Cultivations Consultants has been actively engaged in the process of trying to develop alternative means of addressing these problems, and would like opportunity to expand on that at some point in the future. But this is a problem that people are not really trying to solve.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly, Lionel, because the system was designed that way so that supposedly to keep us in check, so to speak. And that barbaric way of thinking is not helping us in this new millennium at all, at the current state of being that we're in. It is not helping. So we have to come to a decision, a collective consciousness, as we are here on the Female Solution, to do something better with the resources that we have and to make better decisions, because, as you said, we're housing people, and putting them in institution does not make them a better person at all. I remember some years ago, probably 15, 20 years ago, I was hired when I was working with the inmates at Cook County Jail, and I believe it was Winston Moore who was the warden, I believe, at that time. And I was asked to go in to speak to the correctional officers, and my sister retired from there. She was working there at the time, and to speak with them about how they would treat the inmates. And I learned during that teaching experience, I learned more than I taught, is that the system has ingrained in them that the people who are in these institutions are less than human beings, and you treat them that way accordingly. So I had a real challenge trying to get through the years of programming that the correctional institution has taught the correctional officers on how to treat people, because they basically just looked at me and laughed and thinking that, who are you to come in here and tell us how to treat the inmates, because you don't see the things that we go through on a daily basis with these criminals, with these murderers, with these thieves, with these pedophiles. And so that was an eye-opening experience for me. And we're going to come back more and talk about that shortly. If you just tuned in, you'd love to join the conversation. We're talking about the death penalty and the effects and barbaric thinking. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back. So you stay close, and we've got some great information for you. Also, we're going to take the caller 872-5756 when we come back from the commercial break. So please stay close. We'll be right back on The Female Solution. Higher Learning with ZeldaSpeaks. And thanks for listening.
I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. A previous mayor destroyed the great assets in the middle of the night, forcing corporate and private aircraft to land elsewhere. Jobs and revenue was lost, and convenient access to the business in the downtown area is gone. As mayor, I fully intend to reopen Meigs Field.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for mayor.
I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, Chicago.
Hi, this is Beata, your holistic life coach. Every Friday morning, I'm on The Female Solution. I'm also blogging live every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Soul Purpose Healing, where I help you get back into alignment with the Creator's love, compassion, and wisdom. On Sunday, you can call in at 215-383-5863 or go to www.blogtalkradio.com/soulpurposehealing. When I'm not doing spiritual adjustments on Blog Talk Radio, I'm helping clients reduce the stress in their lives with EFT, essential oils, and cost-saving health plans like Ameriplan. Ameriplan is a better way to save money on your health care expenses. There is more information on how to contact me at www.yourholisticlifecoach.com. Till then, stay in joy.
Oh man, God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark.
Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456.
Hi, this is Beata, your holistic life coach. Every Friday morning, I'm on The Female Solution. I'm also blogging live every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Soul Purpose Healing, where I help you get back into alignment with the Creator's love, compassion, and wisdom. On Sunday, you can call in at 215-383-5863 or go to www.blogtalkradio.com/soulpurposehealing. When I'm not doing spiritual adjustments on Blog Talk Radio, I'm helping clients reduce the stress in their lives with EFT, essential oils, and cost-saving health plans like Ameriplan. Ameriplan is a better way to save money on your health care expenses. There is more information on how to contact me at www.yourholisticlifecoach.com. Till then, stay in joy.
Thank you for joining us back here on Blog Talk Radio. Higher Learning with ZeldaSpeaks and Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque from Community Cultivations. And today we are talking about the death penalty. And we're going to the phone line. If you'd like to join the conversation, 515-605-9325. Area code 708-3304. Your line is open. Grand Rising, and thank you for joining us. You're live.
Grand Rising.
Thank you for joining us this morning. 708-3304. Good morning, Sister
Grand
Maika.
Rising.
Thank you for joining us, dear.
Yes, I'm.
Grand Rising to
greetings
you too.
Greetings to you and to your guests. And I just want to say I'm so glad that he brought that up, that the Pope did say what he said about the death penalty. I had meant to go back and read it. I just marked it, but I didn't go back and read it. As a nonviolent peace advocate, and I've been that mostly all of my life, I knew that the death penalty was cruel and unusual punishment because, you know, we're taught that to treat others the way you want to be treated. And I know that I would not want to have to go through that. As a matter of fact, in a society that is evolving and developing towards a civilization, it's important to find out the cause of people doing the crimes that they engage in, because nobody is born a criminal. We come here pure spirits. And then something within the society causes the person to engage in criminal activity. So it's important in a progressive society to find out what those causes are and then eliminate those causes. So it's not the person who is the problem, it's the society or the systems or the institutions within the society. The church, the government, the clinic, the prisons, the homes, the schools, those become the culprit. Because man was not made for institutions. Institutions were made for us. But the way this society works now is we have to fit into the institutions. We have to put our round selves in these square pegs that never change. But institutions by and of themselves have to change to fit the growing needs of mankind. And that's been the problem. So as these institutions cripple us, we have to stop putting blame on people and begin to see how the institutions, and all of them were founded on violence. Every institution we have now was founded on a violent principle. It's not a principle, principality, let's say. Because that's the principalities that, the spiritual wickedness in high places. But we've been accustomed to just accepting what is, the sheeple being led. We have to become courageous enough to look with new eyes and see what is causing us to suffer, where this policy of punishment came from. Fortunately, I didn't receive a lot of punishment as a child coming up. I didn't do a lot of wrong, first off, because I look at what my brother did, and he's older than me, and I noticed what he did, and I decided I wouldn't do that. So I avoided a lot of punishment. So it allowed me to have a mind to think because, see, when you punish people, you cause people to have secrets because they want to avoid punishment. So they keep things in. They won't tell you the truth. They slide, lies become their field of operation. So I've always been able to speak truthfully to whatever I need to because I don't have a fear of punishment. I'm not caught up in that criminal activity. I did do some crimes, but like stealing. But that was it. I got caught. That was it. No more of that because I was too embarrassed. So it's important to have clinics.
Learn that lesson
to replace prison. Yeah, you have to learn from your mistakes. What the institution and the nonviolent archive that replaces the prison is the clinic. In the clinic, you find the cause and you help people to get back to that pure state. Whatever caused them to do, whatever it is they do. Because we come here pure, we know we can go back to what we came here being, and that's the God self. And so we have to replace prison. We can't continue to punish. I mean, everybody will be locked up because everybody does wrong at some point or another.
Right.
It's just some are caught and some are not. I think criminal activity is always going on because people make errors.
Amen. Say that.
So I just wanted to share that. And
say that.
And
that
thank your guest for bringing that up.
Wow. Thank you.
Yes, and we
thank
have
you.
to start
and thank you
thinking
so much,
in terms of
Sister Micah, for joining us and sharing your comment this morning.
I just want to say one other thing. We have to start thinking in terms of developing nonviolent-based institutions, and just because no civilization would kill their citizens. In civilizations, people become laws unto themselves. The law, thy word have I hid in thy heart, that thou mayest not sin against me. So when the word is within the flesh, then there's no need to sin. There's no need to create crimes or what have you. And we have to evolve to that, to become a civilization. See, a lot of people think we're already that.
Amen.
We're not that. A civilization wouldn't kill its people. No, that's one thing it wouldn't do.
Amen.
Thank you again.
I agree. And thank you so much for joining us this morning, Sister Micah. You can tune in to her show. Let's talk about it with Micah Thursday mornings from 7 until 9 a.m. as we go to the line to take one more caller before we take our break. Area code 872-5756. You are live on the air this morning on The Female Solution. What's your comment or thought? Would you... Grand Rising.
Hey, what's
Thank
up?
you for joining us. Area code 872.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Grand Rising. And who has the pleasure of this morning? Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
This is Coopy James.
Yes, we can hear you.
You can go to YouTube, see all my
Brother
all my
Coopy, thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes, ma'am. A great topic. I believe
yes,
Carol Yarborough, who is the Cook County Deed, about 5 years ago, she ended the death penalty in Illinois. So we're heading in the right direction. But when we look at and trying to destroy religion, we can destroy religion, but we cannot destroy spirituality. Everybody's coming against, this Jesus character. Yeah, he was a character that was created by the Rothschild family. They said Israel, that's why brothers are Israelites. Okay? I talk to brothers like that. I used to be a Hebrew Israelite. I said, where is this coming from? Who did this? So, but in the Bible,
I think, Brother Kufi, we may have lost trend. Oh, there you go.
No,
there
I'm
you
here.
are. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We cannot take away, if you take away Jesus, you cannot take away the word of God. It says in Genesis, in the beginning, John 1, it says, In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. Okay? That means there's a spiritual word that comes from us. We are the healers. We are the messiahs. You see? Not just one man or one woman. And that's what's going on in society. Everybody trying to step up and be that Messiah. I'm the Messiah. I'm the Christ. Look at me. Look at me. We all are. See, that destroys religion right there. And that brings spirituality into the homes again. See, if you had a family, a man and a woman with a child, they had a great relationship, but the woman was going to church and the man wasn't going to church, guess what's going to happen to that family eventually? It's going to break up. Because this woman is getting this information from this man and coming home telling her husband about this man, and that's creating confusion. All churches start at home. What I'm trying to do now, what's going on now in society, we have a society now to realize that all we have is prayer. That's the most powerful thing that each of us have. I told a lady the other day, she was so fearful. Oh, they're killing her. I said, no, there is no gangs. I told Rahm Emanuel, there is no gangs in Chicago. You trying to say gangs is killing us? There is no gangs. I grew up in a project, 20 years. There is no gangs. Okay? These are mercenary killings. Now, see, I spoke to authority. Now, that stuff going to stop. That stuff going to stop. Now we're looking around at these cars. We're looking inside of everybody's car like, where are these mercenaries coming from? Let them come out again. See, that is a collective spiritual government that has been always here that the enemy is trying to control. That's why we say we all are family, one world of family.
The enemy is in control.
I created a narrative on the internet called Colorblind Society. Oh, I get all leaders coming at me now. I even got the Rothschild sent their people at me saying, oh, who are you? Who are you? Colorblind Society destroys every works of evil because they're putting color, gender against one another. But if you come out, see, I came out and said, Colorblind Society, I'm doing the work of God. I'm setting the tone. See how we use our own voices? We read the Quran, or we read the Bible, we read this information. And like Maika said, the word becomes flesh, so now you can become a truth giver. We all are. We're not born into sin. We're born into a world. We're born into a world that wants to make you sin. Just like they put them the trucks full of Nike shoes on the south side, waiting for young brothers to run in the truck and then close the truck up and arrest them. That is what they've been doing all along. It's called trapment. That's what the enemy is doing. But see, they know now we are collectively together.
So that they can incarcerate you.
Huh? What'd you say?
So that they can collectively incarcerate us. So that they can collectively incarcerate us. It's a hidden agenda. It's been there all the time, and we're just waking up.
The children don't know. That's why we're trying to get the children.
And I thank you for calling in and sharing that information this morning.
That's why we're trying to mend the family. Put the father back in the child's life.
Right. And we thank you for calling in and sharing that information. Brother Lionel, would you like to comment on Brother Kufi's comment?
Well, no. I mean, everybody can make comments.
We are going back. Can you repeat that, Lionel? We didn't hear you.
I was just saying that everybody's making good comments. The key is what I'm really trying to strive for is to get us to understand that that we have to take a new approach to the whole concept of criminal corrections, and that we need new programs, new ideas, and people who can address it from a different perspective.
Because we have more control than we know that we have. We have way more control. But the powers that be want us to think that we have none, and that our voices really don't matter because we are taught that the people with the money and the power control the world. And it's pretty much like the thoughts behind the death penalty. It's that we don't have any control over that. If we were to become a collective consciousness and rally against that which is unjust, whether it be the death penalty or the killing of our people in the streets, things would change, just like the Laquan McDonald incident. Mayoral candidate Dr. Willie Wilson was indicted, well, not indicted, felony charges were brought against him by 4 aldermen. We all know Rahm is behind that. And to say that he's doing something illegal, giving money away, well, on the same note, he's not. But until we as a people get together and say, Rahm, that's wrong, what you did, the cover-up, you're covering up. Here this man is trying to help poor people, and you're covering up the death of Laquan McDonald, and you want 60 days to release the video. Well, why does it take 60 days to release that video? And because there was a backlash from the community to open that file and show that video and show that there was a cover-up, until that happened, until we became a collective consciousness of people who wanted something different in this society, nothing happened. But when we stood and marched and voiced our opinions and demanded some change, then change happened. And that's how anything will happen, when we demand it. And it will not until we demand it. So we have the power. I said all that to say this. We have the power. We just don't realize it. And we've been dumbed down because of all the programming that we are being literally and figuratively, you know what I'm trying to say, figuratively, trying to be programmed. We are being programmed from sun up to sundown. From the time that we wake up in the morning, we wake up with alarm clocks. Your body has an automatic alarm clock. You don't need something outside of yourself to stimulate you, to wake you in the morning, unless you've been drinking all night or stayed up all night. Well, those are outside substances or situations that will prevent you from using your internal clock. You were born with everything that you need to sustain you in this world. And these outside sources like modern technology now, it's like people go to bed with their cell phones on. It's like, okay, this is my quiet time. It's time for me to rest. So I'm going to turn my phone off. I know so many people, probably half the world sleeps with their cell phone on. The body cannot rejuvenate if the cell phone is on, and it's especially if it's near you. Number one, it's going to wake you up out of your sleep, in which your body needs rest in order to heal and keep your immune system working well, and you don't need to be interrupted. And number one, the 4G technology that we have is killing us. All this technology. I think our Friday morning host, Vieta, Health and Wellness with Vieta, Friday mornings from 7 until 9, talks about the 4G and the 5G technology. She talked about in Costa Rica, I think it was 1 or 2 or maybe 3G, because there's less technology there, and I can't wait to go to Costa Rica. It's on my bucket list, so to speak, of places to go. Where technology is low, people are more in tune with the inner clock, the inner spirit, the inner being. And the further we get away from that, the more we have of instances in our lives or circumstances or situations that where we're not in tune. And we think, thank you for being in tune this morning on the Female Solution. High Learning with ZeldaSpeaks and Brother Lionel, Abdul, Haaque of Community Cultivations. Would you say, what do you think about that, Lionel?
About what?
What I just said.
Well, you were saying a lot. I mean,
did I lose you?
Well, I mean, you were saying a lot, but I mean, in the context of the comment about the Pope and the issue about punishment and the human dignity that the death penalty is not speaking to. This is an issue that I think could, we need to stay focused on, because it's not a small thing in the context of how deeply we've been misled. That this goes way back, and we've been practicing and exercising these ideas as if they were true for generations. So the problems that we have today are rooted in the practices and the principles and the ideas that we've been taught and never questioned, and that followed and have evolved with the culture. The idea that punishment and violence and dehumanizing behavior, dehumanizing each other, is the way to go, and that this is not working. And we are where we are because we've been practicing these ideas. Another thing that is important in the context of this discussion is the idea of where people cannot charge you and you not have an opportunity to respond. That you cannot be charged and convicted without a trial, without someone giving you an opportunity to respond to the charges in a fair and just manner. In fact, the idea of being presumed innocent until proven guilty is part of the whole break from the medieval practices of Europe that created the separation of church and state. That you didn't have those things under the authority of the church. You didn't have any rights. You didn't have any dignity. There was no such thing as human dignity. Human beings were considered to be heathen, and that you didn't have a soul, and that this whole idea has evolved right on up into the modern penal system and the police practices. It's all connected. That the only way you can respond to criminal behavior is with brute force, with terrorism. And that's the only way to correct criminal behavior, to force people to get in line. And this is a medieval practice. It is a medieval idea. It is not consistent with the idea of what human life is about, which is, if you teach us better, we will do better.
Amen. I agree with that wholeheartedly. If we teach us better, we will do better, because the rate of recidivism in the penal system is evident that the practices and the principles that are currently are not working. I'm going to say that are not working, because no, they're not working. But
they're working to do what they're supposed to do, and that is to create an industry and a population of people who are constantly being dehumanized, who are constantly being set back by a system that separates the family and does not provide any way for a person to get better while they're being incarcerated.
Right.
And that is
not the aim of the penal institution.
Yes, it is. It is the aim of the penal institution. The aim of the penal institution is to create that situation. It is to create that situation. It is to create a situation where the biggest business on the stock market is penal institutions.
Right. I agree with that, but what I meant, it was not designed for us to go in and come out a better person. It just doesn't work that way, because the resources are not there to make you a better thinking person and a better being person. We're going to take a commercial break. We're listening to Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque of Community Cultivations, and You're listening to The Female Solution, and we will be right back.
Oh, man. God
As we
sent the
bring
monthly
you very
sun bill
important
today.
messages.
This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark.
Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456.
Hi, this is Beata, your holistic life coach. Every Friday morning, I'm on The Female Solution. I'm also blogging live every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Soul Purpose Healing, where I help you get back into alignment with the Creator's love, compassion, and wisdom. On Sunday, you can call in at 215-383-5863 or go to www.blogtalkradio.com/soulpurposehealing. When I'm not doing spiritual adjustments on Blog Talk Radio, I'm helping clients reduce the stress in their lives with EFT, essential oils, and cost-saving health plans like Ameriplan. Ameriplan is a better way to save money on your health care expenses. There is more information on how to contact me at www.yourholisticlifecoach.com. Till then, stay in joy.
Are you having challenges with your 2-year-old who has suddenly discovered they have a free will and has learned to tell you no? Are you having challenges with your 8-year-old who has suddenly learned how to tell untruths in order to avoid punishment? Are you having challenges with your 13-year-old who has suddenly realized that they know everything and you know nothing? Parenting is a challenge. Our children are here to learn and grow in understanding so that they can reach their highest creative potential and contribute to a new world of peace and harmony. To do our part as their teachers and protectors takes wisdom, patience, and skill. Join me, Naima Latif, and facilitator Mark Shahid on the Parenting and Family Reconstruction Learning Lab every Thursday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time on American Muslim 360 Blog Talk Radio. Tune in at www.blogtalkradio.com/American Muslim 360. Call in with your questions at 515-605-9891. That's 515-605-9891. Spare the rod.
While taxes do provide the funds to pay for our services, high taxes can drive business out of our city. Residents then go out of state to buy gas because our gas taxes are so high. And when they buy gas, they stop and buy many other items. Lowering gas taxes will keep those residents and dollars in our city.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for mayor.
Thank you for joining us back here on blogtalkradio.com, The Female Solution, Higher Learning with ZeldaSpeaks, and my special guest today, Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque of Community Cultivations, and today's topic is on the death penalty. And the Pope's thoughts about it, as well as your thoughts. If you're listening and like to join the conversation, call in at 515-605-9325, and be sure and press 1 to speak. Next week we'll have Chicago authors, because it made me think about all the talent that's in Chicago that's not getting exposure. So we'll have some authors this month, especially one coming up next week who had a disease reversed when the doctor said there was nothing else they could do. So that gives you hope for whatever it is that challenge that you may be going through today. Feel free to leave your comments, thoughts, or suggestions on future shows, as well as today's show. If you're listening online, feel free to visit our blogtalkradio.com page, the Female Solution, Facebook.com, the Female Solution, and Facebook.com, the Zelda Speaks. Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque of Community Cultivations, we were talking about the practices and the principles on punishment and how that was designed to keep us in a state of fear and recidivism.
Yeah.
Are you with us, Lionel?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Well, this again, it's this whole idea that I'm trying to point out is in the context of how we've been misled, and it's been going on for a long time. It's not something that's just happening, and because of it, we are in developed habits that undermine social justice. The whole idea of social justice, and one of those things is this idea of not giving people a fair hearing. The ideas can be put out, things can be made, charges can be made against an individual, and with social media being what it is, the person is charged and tried and convicted before he even knows that he's been charged with anything. And people have accepted the idea that, this is okay, that, we don't listen, we don't give people the benefit of the doubt. We don't give people an opportunity to respond. We listen to gossip. We listen to one-sided accusations against people without giving them fair hearing. And this is a universal principle that we could all work to change. If we stop listening to people's gossip, backbiting, what we call backbiting, this is all rooted in the concept of social justice. That as we recognize the need, we will move forward to bring it into being. That not giving people the hearing that they deserve for charges that are made against them, we are really undermining our own humanity and our own human civilization. And that we have to insist and have the discipline to do what is right in terms of social justice. And we unfortunately, we don't do that. And that's why injustice grows and becomes habitual, deeply rooted in the personality and the culture of a society.
And it will continue to grow, especially with social media, where everybody chimes in and gives their personal opinion without any thought, just simply responding. We're the judge and the jury. We are condemning people. Excuse me?
We listen. People are, when you very if you can't say something good about somebody, you shouldn't say anything, and you shouldn't listen to people talking bad about someone else when you know that you're not giving that person the opportunity to respond fairly. And this is pervasive. I mean, the whole thing with soap operas and social media has fed this gossip mentality to the point where people don't even see anything wrong with it. It's like gambling. It has become a part of our culture that we have accepted, even though we know that these things are fundamental sins that undermine human relationships.
Because we see homes breaking up every day, families being broken up because someone in the family has an addiction, and they may or may not want help with it or even recognize that there is a problem. So it is ingrained in society, and if you are one who thinks out of the box, so to speak, or thinking of someone other than the self, then you become a target. Well, what's wrong with you? Why did you say that? Why are you thinking like that? Everybody has an opinion, and not everybody is going to think before they speak. We just automatically speak from,
It's a cultural,
from the heart.
It's a cultural habit of following no discipline. We don't. We all know that gospel is wrong. We all understand that if anybody can make a charge against someone, and that doesn't necessarily make it right. That the person is guilty.
Right.
And so we need to recognize when we're being played to the point where when someone comes to us with these things, we should turn them off. We should tell them, no, this is not the way to handle this situation, and that if you have something to say about that person, let's go to that person and you tell them in front of me what you're telling me now.
Wow.
And that would stop most of this problem. But see, we're not in the habit of doing that. We're in the habit of listening to gossip. The whole programming of soap opera is to get you to listen to other people's issues and to get on telephone and tell other people about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're absolutely right.
This is what people used to do with the soap operas. They get on the phone and say, girl, you know what so-and-so did on the story? You know what so-and-so did on the stories today? Girl, so-and-so and so-and-so. And this is gossip. This is what this programming was designed to get you to do. And when you stop talking about the soap operas, you start talking about people in reality. The habit that you develop of watching the soap operas and telling people about what happened on the soaps, you then take that to talking about what your neighbor did down the street. And this has become
how often does that happen?
Well, this is by design. This is where the culture has been feeding. I mean, the whole idea of game shows. Game shows created the atmosphere of gambling that we have today. We wouldn't have gambling used to be illegal, but now, but because of the influence of game shows and the programming of game shows led us to accept the idea that you can get something for nothing.
Big time.
That's what gambling is. That's what gambling is.
Going on the game shows.
Gambling is the way of getting something for nothing. You put up a little and you get a lot. That's fundamentally against the laws of God. You reap what you sow.
And you haven't sold anything.
You shouldn't get anything.
You should not expect anything. I learned, one of the things that I learned is that commercial radio, not this radio show, but commercial radio, in all my years, 20-plus years in radio, one of the things that I learned is that we conditioned the listener to accept part of, be my nice caller at 1-800-555, whatever, and you can win so-and-so and so-and-so. And that keeps you listening. But it also helped you develop a habit of what you just said. You didn't earn anything, so what makes you think you should be able to get anything free? But that's to keep you in this state of consciousness of lack, limitation, and fear. Because if you don't conform to the norm, then something must wrong with you. Well, girl, free, that's for me. If it's got free, that's my middle name, free. I want it. Free is nice, but in what context? And what will it cost you? Is it costing you the ability to think, to remain uneducated about the way the system works? And most of us don't care. We just want what we want when we want it, because that's what we've been conditioned to do. And in order to learn how to do something better, you've got to tune out the world. And, who wants to be ostracized? We all want to be loved and accepted, so we continue to play the game. And the game goes on and on and on and on. And if you're listening this morning on social media, we'd love to have your comments, your thoughts, and your suggestions. Feel free to leave them on our Facebook page, The Female Solution, as well as Zelda Speaks, and any of the social media. Trying to teach or enlighten our audience and the world at large about how we've been miseducated. Can you, Lionel, give our listening audience one thing that they can do today and practice on a daily basis that will help them come out of the archaic way of thinking that we've been conditioned to be in, to help us move our thoughts to the next level? What's the number one thing that we can do?
In the words of the young people, something that I say is one of the most prophetic things that I've heard in the modern age. The young people have a saying, get real. Get real. Meaning that we have been conditioned out of reality into false reality, into fantasy land, into magic kingdom, never grow up mentality. This is where we are, and this is why we got Donald Trump as president, and this is why the world is going crazy, because we have been misled, bamboozled, run amok, and led astray. And we have to get real, as the young people say.
And by getting real,
mean get in touch, get back in touch with.
What do we do to move forward?
We have to recognize. We have to reevaluate all the things that we've been taught. We have to go back and study history and the history of things and understand where we got separated from what is real into what is unreal.
So how can we recognize what's real when what we have been taught is all we know?
Well, you have an internal mechanism. You have common sense. You have intelligence. And by recognizing, you apply those fundamental qualities to evaluate the things that you think you know, the things that you've been taught. Reevaluate those things on the basis of common sense. Reevaluate them on the basis of what history says, not what they say today, but what they said yesterday. I mean, what the Pope said recently is totally different than what the position of the church has been from the time it began. And that's what's so significant about the statement about the death penalty. The idea that it doesn't speak to the dignity of the human being is what he said. And neither does the idea of born in sin speak to the dignity of the human being. Neither does the idea of punishing people as a way of correcting bad behavior. That doesn't solve the problem. It makes the problem worse.
No, it doesn't.
When you punish people and treat them like animals, you're only reinforcing the idea that you have in the first place that they are animals, that they're not human, that they don't have a soul. That was the position of the church from the beginning. It is not the position that the Pope gave recently. And that's what's significant about it. The whole penal system is based on the idea of punishment and that we don't have a soul that can be corrected.
And therein lies the whole problem. And what are we going to do about it? And it all begins within, like you said. If we don't make a conscious effort, it won't happen. And it depends on all of us. We can't wait on anything outside of ourselves. We can't wait on them. We can't wait on the system and the so-called powers that be, because we all have the same power. We just haven't realized it and practiced it and know what to do with it and how to distribute it. So that's our
the real power.
That's our challenge here.
The real power is the Creator, and we have to reconnect with that. We've been misled about the Creator. We've been misled about our relationship with the Creator, and we have to get back in touch with what's real. The fantasy, the magic kingdom, the illusion, the Harry Potter mentality has to go. We actually feeding our kids witchcraft and sorcery.
And we don't even know it.
Oh, we know what we're doing. We know that Harry Potter is a sorcerer. We know that Harry Potter is a sorcerer, a wizard.
Yes.
And yet we stay feeding that message to kids.
All over the world.
Vampires and werewolves, and Halloween. You know, this is not a joke. This is real. And you set up confusion and cognitive dissonance in the minds of people when you confuse right with wrong, good with evil. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil is a culture that feeds people confusing ideas in order to make them ineffective.
And it has worked until today.
And it'll work
because
if we stop it.
Jan Van Zant says, did we lose you, Lionel? As Jan Van Zant would say, until today, because we have intelligent listeners on the line and on our channel who will respond to this and know that it is up to each and every one of them to do their due diligence, to do their job, to be sure that we no longer participate in something that is not of the Creator. And we thank you all for joining us today. Final comments, Lionel. We've got to close out the show. Your final comment for the day?
Well, again, I'd love to hear from some of the people who are doing some of the other shows. I'd like to have an opportunity to expose their listeners to the ideas that I'm trying to share. That number is 773-642-1453. Love to hear from you.
On the show. We appreciate you. We thank you. And we look forward to having you on the first of every month here on Blog Talk Radio, the Female Solution, Higher Learning with ZeldaSpeaks. And next week we will have a young man who is a professional, an author that there was nothing they could do for him, and he's here to show us something differently. Be sure and join us tomorrow for Voices of Enlightenment, Preparing Family Relationship with Naima Latif. And welcome back, Naima, from abroad. And thank you for our listening audience in London and all over the world. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, stay tuned to your next mindfulness session, Higher Learning with Zelda Speaks on Blog Talk Radio, Mondays 7 until 9 a.m. If you want to contact me during the week, Zelda at ZeldaSpeaks.com is my email. You can always go to the website, Zelda Speaks. ZeldaSpeaks.com. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and make it a great day.
France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, medasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, geret. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakkur. Saudi Arabia, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.